Hello again, everyone. It's Vince Four from TradingWinds.com, and this is our update for Sunday, May the 5th, 2024. Let's take a quick look at how things finished off last week. They certainly finished on a positive note. The Dow up 450 points here. Now, this chart has suddenly become interesting for a couple of reasons. Number one, we have been below the 20 here for several weeks. Now, for the first time in several weeks, we are back above the 20. Secondly, we did close above a prior high here. So even though the slope on the 20 is negative, if we follow through above the high here, technically, we could feel good about that. There's just one hiccup, and that is that the higher time frames are not aligned. Now, it may be once we follow through, so we've got to keep an eye on that. The other thing is that over the last couple of weeks, we were pretty much going sideways. We had moved away from the 20 here and we consolidated back towards the 20. Now we are above the high of that consolidation. So we may be setting up for another leg higher here. We've got to go with what price tells us, and that's where we're at today. So should that happen, should we follow through above Friday's high here and the higher time frames come back in line, then we can start looking for trades to the long side and target previous pivot highs for overhead targets. Now, we look at the S&P up 63 points, another strong day, similar picture here, closing above that prior high, closing above the 21st time in a while. This was not as clean of a consolidation, but still, it's there. We closed above, but look at the higher time frames, still not aligned. So exact same analysis here, and same for the Nasdaq here again, closing above the 20 for first time in a while, closing above that prior high, closing near the high of the day. It all looks good, except for the higher time frames are mixed. The Russell 2000, little further ahead here, but again, same picture when you're looking at the higher time frame. So we'll continue to be patient here. No need to rush it. If there is going to be another leg higher, there'll be plenty of opportunities to take advantage of that run. And certainly we're not far from the all-time highs. Maybe not on the Russell, but certainly on the Dow, the S&P, and the Nasdaq. We're near the all-time high. So if we do rally here, we could potentially push into all-time highs once again. But again, we'll be patient and wait for the proper setup here. If we look at crude oil has been going in the wrong direction here. Now, I mean, it's good, I guess, if you're thinking of it in terms of inflation and its impact on the inflation numbers. Yeah, that'll help, and that's a good thing. And it was a pretty clean rejection at that 20 here, a clean break of that low. We talked about that early last week, and now, we just continue to focus on prior pivot lows until this thing changes. Now, again, the higher time frames are not in line, so we're going to continue to watch this, but we're not actively trading it right now. Gold down a single point on Friday. It has been very quiet recently. Basically, all of last week was very, very quiet. Took a dip on the first trading session of the week, but then from there, you look at all the closing prices, pretty much all at the same level. Now, here the higher time frame still aligned to the upside. So what we're waiting for is a close and a move and follow through above that 20. Then we'll go from there. Silver down 14 cents. Again, sitting right on the highs of that very lengthy channel. So far, holding support there. Bond yields were lower across the board on Friday, as was the US dollar. Now, it finished well off its low of the day, but still finished lower compared to Thursday's close. So right now, we're sitting at 105.07 here, and we'll see if we can get back above that 106 mark and get something going again to the upside. If not, if Friday's low gets taken out, then again we start looking at prior pivot lows. But so far, the higher time frames are telling us we should be looking for a long setup, and we're not there just yet. Now, let's look at the week ahead. What do we have coming up news wise? And then I'll get to some trade ideas. Monday, not a whole lot. I mean, we do get Fed officials speaking throughout the week, but really, those don't usually tend to move the markets. And as far as anything else significant, there really isn't any this week. On Tuesday, we get the Red Book report. And again, some Fed officials speaking. Wednesday, the usual MBA mortgage apps number, wholesale inventories. But again, that's about it. Thursday, the jobless claims number. And Friday, we get consumer sentiment numbers. But aside from that, it's a very quiet week for news, which is uncommon. But that gives us a chance to have a look here, keep an eye on the index charts to see, who wins the battle here. Is it going to be buyers that are going to push this thing higher, or are sellers going to step up once again and push this back below the 20 and set up short? Right. That's what we will be looking for this week.